All right, if you guys like what you guys are watching, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, follow the channel. Let's get right into it, guys. So today we're gonna discuss the same thing that we were talking about last time. I have a video that I'm gonna show you guys, but we're gonna talk about the things that are taking place right now. And we talked about the confrontation. One of the things that we have been talking and saying a lot here is the confrontation that's coming. And there's gonna be a confrontation, like I keep saying, love versus light, right? So now in Matthew 24, it's this telling us, right? And we talked about this, that it says that in the end times it's gonna be like in the times of Noah. Right, so we already talked about that in many lives already. And there's some studies below that. We're gonna be talking about that. Let me see that. Okay, we're I don't know what skip. Somebody said something like that. I'm not trying not to read that because I don't want to lose my train of thought. So we're gonna talk about the confrontations that are coming, right? And the confrontations that are coming are gonna be the confrontation of love, where you and I as Christians, we're gonna have to make decisions. You and I as Christians, we're gonna have to make a decision and take a side, and that's what we're leading towards as the end times in Matthew 24 was leading towards the rapture and the tribulation period. So two things are going to happen. There's going to be a confrontation of love and also a confrontation of light. Light versus light. Now, the part of love is going to be like where you and I get to decide who we're going to live for, who we're going to stand for. And that's the reason why we're going to go a little bit into the book of Revelations pretty soon. So we can look at the seven churches and why it is that those churches are being put under scrutiny. Why those churches are being told, by the revelation that was given in the book of Revelation, and why in the spirit realm Jesus was speaking to the body, to the mystical body of Jesus Christ, and why it is that about 85% of the church is going to stay here for the tribulation period. But what we're going to do right now, what we've been doing is that we're going to go into the doctrine of exposing the fruitless deeds of darkness, right? uh, why are we going to do that? Because the Bible's telling us. So we are not to partake in these things as Christians, right? And we already give the definition of what Christians means, who is Christian and who isn't. We give an idea of what that is, right? So if you guys can give me some more likes, I'd really appreciate it. 105. You guys can get it to 1,000, be really good. So as you guys can see, we have this meme right here, and it's giving you guys an idea. Now let me pull up my verses right here so I can pull them up. Give me 1 second, and I'm gonna start pull it pull some of the stuff on the screen. I think it's this one, right? Yeah, it's it right here. Okay, so let me go back into that screen right there. I think it's this one. Yeah, it should be that one right there. So as you guys can see, I'm gonna pull it up right here. So let me see. What is it going to be? That's going to be Luke. Let me go back to Luke. It is going to be this verse of 8 or 18. Okay. So look at what it says. Okay. On this verse right here, it says, Jesus said, see to it that no one, that you are not deceived. Let me highlight it real quick. Oh, let me go on YouTube and pull that out too. There you go. Perfect. Oh, everything's working perfect today, which I like. I really like it. Everything's perfect. Okay, see to it that you are not deceived. Look at what it says. So when Jesus was asked, right, in Matthew 24 and Matthew 21, we see that they asked him, what are the signs? What's going to take place in the time where you're coming for the second time? Now, let's remember something, that there's something that's being confused by theology and by denominations today. And this one thing that's being confused is, when the rapture is going to take place. Everybody's arguing, everybody has this idea, that idea, but they haven't, a lot of the denominations haven't received the full light or revelation that God is going to give us in the end times. So look at what it says right here. So one of the things that's going to take place that Jesus said, first things first, be careful that nobody deceives you. Now we're gonna look at a video in a second right now, and I'm giving you guys an example of these videos that I pulled up. I watch these videos, but I want to give you guys an example of what's gonna take place. We're gonna look at it from a psychological perspective. Why these people are doing what they're doing. Some of these people that are claiming to be prophets, or these people, and I have everything ready. You guys are gonna see it, right? So it says, "For many will come in my name, claiming I am He, and the time is near. Do not follow them. When you hear of wars and rebellions, do not be alarmed. These things must happen first, but the end is not imminent." So, what is Jesus talking about right here when he says that the time that this thing's gonna happen, but the time is not there yet? One of the things, and I've said this before, I'm gonna rephrase what was being said so we can get an understanding of what the title is and what the subject is. Right? One of the things that the apostles or the disciples of that time, they wanted to know. They thought that Jesus was gonna establish the kingdom in their time, in his time, right? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys. I had to create some appeals over here. It always does it. I don't know why this thing does it every single time when we're on a live right here, but let me see. It's always doing this to me. I don't understand why I don't know. There's no more freedom of speech. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, I understand. Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. I have to appeal this. So it's like it restricts it all the time. Like I don't know why it does that. Anyway, so we're gonna go back to what I was saying, right? So they thought that he would go and establish the kingdom in his time. So that's when they approached him after he got out. They left the temple in Matthew 24 and Luke 21, and they asked him, "Tell us what's gonna be the sign of your coming." Right. So, but they thought it was going to be in their lifetime that was going to happen. Right. That's the reason why they were asking. So Jesus goes and tells them, the time is going to come in a specific time frame, and these are going to be the signs that there's going to be an end time. Now, what end time is it were they referring to? And I'm going to emphasize this one more time. The end time that they were emphasizing is that they were asking what's going to end this, right? And they thought that it was talking about the rulership of most likely Rome at the time. I think that that's what they were referring to. But Jesus goes and tells them in the end times this is going to happen. So but when Jesus is talking about the end times and his second coming, he's talking about there's going to come a time when the rulership of man, right, the dominion that was given to man in the Garden of Eden to Adam and Eve, that's what it's referring to, right? It's referring to that time where God told them, go out to the world, populate it, and you're going to have dominion over everything on the earth, right? Everything, even the animals and everything like that. So that started with Adam and Eve. And then when they fell, right now we're in a fallen state. That's where we're at. So the reason why Jesus came, one of the reasons why he came, one is to save the world, two is to get a wife, and the third thing is to unify things and restore the things that God intended for humanity to have with God, to have a what do you call it, a relationship with man. Does that make sense? Because those are the things that are gonna happen. So right now, God is allowing man to do what they want. Because you guys can see how the world is, how they think, how godless they are, how the world does whatever it does, and they call good bad and good and bad good. That's what the Bible says that they're gonna call them. So that's what they do in today's world. Does that make sense? Thank you guys for the likes. Guys, I'm telling you guys, we're getting so many people to watch in here, but for some reason it always restricts me. I hate it when they do that. But if you guys can share this, and it does that all the time out here on TikTok. So I want you, if you, so yeah, another appeal. Like they're asking me for another appeal. It's like I don't understand TikTok sometimes. Just there's nothing that's being said on this channel, TikTok. There's nothing that's being said that's inappropriate. Stop it. I'm telling you, the enemy hates it when the world gets out. The word, and the truth gets out, right? So the dominion is was about to end, right? And what does that mean? And this is one of the things that this is the reason why we're emphasizing and we're talking about this, right? The reason why we're talking about it and emphasizing because everybody right now, whether you're a Christian, right, or whether you're a non-believer when it comes to Jesus Christ and the gospel of the kingdom of heaven, everybody's wondering, okay, what's gonna happen? But here's the thing: I'm gonna give you guys something, okay? One of the problems that's going on is that the church, a part of the church, has gone into a state of error. Part of the church has they are more worldly and they're more in the flesh and they're not giving the people in the church the gospel and the anointed word of God, right? The anointed word of God, right? So they're not doing that. They prefer to give you guys politics. They prefer to give you guys, new age, yoga, and they have gimmicks and they have parties and they have all this because what they don't have is that water that Jesus was talking about. He was going to give us. They don't have that. They're not giving you guys that. So in other words, and I'm gonna say this, I'm not judging or criticizing the Bible. I mean the church. I mean it's expressing what's happening in the Bible. One of the reasons why a lot of Christians are gonna end up in a tribulation period is because yes, some of the churches they belong to, they're basically leading them astray, not for eternal damnation. Don't think I'm talking about eternal damnation here. No, I'm talking about leading them astray in a sense that they're not giving you guys the answer to what's going to be taking part very soon. And that's going to be an escape that is going to be given to the elect. That is the part that most Christians are not aware of. Most Christians are more caught up talking about Christian nationalism and how we can take advantage, in the government and all those things. We talked about this many times in the other lives. So that's what's going on in today's church today, right? They're more caught up in 7 steps to a better version of you, which is unbiblical. It is unbiblical, and it's not biblical for us to say better version of me. No, Jesus Christ is the one who's supposed to be growing in us. The Bible says that Jesus is supposed to be growing and we're supposed to be becoming less us, who we are. And that is the gospel and that is the kingdom, right? So yeah, everybody's distracted. Everybody is thinking more, like the Bible says that there's going to be mockers. And even amongst the church, there are many mockers. He hasn't said anything, so they just gave up. And this was going to happen in this times. That's why it says that it's going to be like in the times of Noah. People are going to look at all the events right now, and it's going to be, oh, they're gonna do whatever it takes to deny or to say, hey, you know what? We're this is not going to happen. The prophecy is not going to happen. What happened to the prophecies? They've been saying this for 2,000 years. And this is why I keep emphasizing to everybody here on this channel that what any generation in the last, let's say, 1800 years could have claimed Jesus coming in their particular for whatever signs they could have applied from the Bible. The difference between us and them in this generation is that I'm going to say this: human nature is changing a lot because of technology. They are. But one of the things that we can say is that today that Israel, it's in the land today. We can say today that there's the Temple Institute that was established in 1987. We can also say that they want to and they're getting ready to build a third temple. We can say those things today. You couldn't even say those in the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s. But as after the 1980s, and there's many things that have taken place since that. Now we can look at and triangulate a specific time and period of what the Bible says is going to be the signs. Guys, 2,600 likes. I really appreciate you guys for that. I mean, well, I'm always fighting the algorithm when it comes to this topic, guys. They're always they pat this algorithms give put every other information up except for this one because TikTok, and maybe I shouldn't say anything before they flag me or something. So by making sense, guys. So what we're doing here right now is we're actually giving you guys and we're exposing what's happening. We're exposing the world. We're exposing the kingdom of darkness. We're exposing the agendas and propagandas. We're gonna keep doing that. Now, I don't take sides politics wise, but I am able and I would willing to come on here and express because a lot of you right here have become very well informed. A lot of you guys, and which is good. Now we gotta keep doing that. And remember, one of the things that we have to look at, we're gonna look at the book of Revelations. I'm gonna go into that part of the Revelations. Maybe I'm not sure in a month or a month and a half where we talk about that. We're gonna go through the churches. And we're gonna look to see what the churches are going through, what it's saying about the churches. We're gonna go through that maybe in a month, maybe a month and a half. I'm setting the ground right now. Where now we're discussing what's happening with the deception and the fight that's going on, right? Because whether you like it or not, we're all gonna be in that fight, and the fight's gonna come to you. The fight is coming to you. The fight's coming to you. They're gonna come knocking on your door one day. Question is, will you be ready? Right. So, who's coming at you to knock on your door? Right. The confrontation. I had some Jehovah Witnesses come to my house like 2 weeks ago, and I stood there and I witnessed to them. Two Jehovah Witnesses knocked on my door. I stepped outside. We were talking for about 20, 30, 25, 30 minutes. They heard the gospel they gave me Bible. I gave them Bible. We went back and forth. I'm ready for the fight. My sword is sharpened, right? I have the armor on me. You guys need to do the same thing so you guys can stand in that day when the enemy comes and he comes to want to hinder you, want to weaken your faith, or wants to take you away from the truth. You can fight. So let me get into it right now, guys. So as we can see right here, one of the things that we're looking at right here is let me go back to this right here. It says um this is says, see that you are not deceived, for many will come in my name, claiming I am he, and the time is near. Do not follow them. When you hear of wars and rebellions, do not be alarmed. So this is the warning that Jesus is going to give of things that are going to happen in our time, right? This is our time. So one of the reasons why I believe that God at our point in time asked me to make this channel, because I have the one on YouTube and have this one, because I've been wanting to do these channels for a while, but God kept telling me, wait, wait, wait. So I've been waiting. So when he told me, I was excited because I wanted to give put this information out there as well. So let me get into the video also. Give me a second. We're gonna start with this one right here. Let me see. Let me see if I have another video. Let me see that we're gonna talk about here. Give me 1 second. Let me see. We're gonna go into this one. It's let me see. Matthew 4:5. Okay. Let me see. Okay, look at what it says. Jesus answered, see it that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name claiming I am the Christ and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see that you are not alarmed. These things must take place, but the end is still to come. So what it's basically saying right now is that all of this is going to lead in one direction. It's going to lead in one specific. Okay, so I don't know that namesakes above gods. Let me get through here. Send me a message. I'm gonna keep like with the study normally. But I do go on live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you want to come ask that question, I can answer it to you then. But let me continue with the study because I got to get through this video also that I want to show everybody. So give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me see. I gotta get rid of this one. Open that one. Okay, that's the other video. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Okay, it should be that one right there. I hope it does do it. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna talk about this guy right here, and we're gonna go into this video about this guy. We're gonna watch him. I'm gonna skip a little bit of it because I have some specific time frames that I'm gonna talk about it. But we're gonna look at the beginning of it, and we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna go a little bit silent. I'm gonna take off for a second, but I'll be back. But I'll put it on right now. Give me a second.
I'm not hiding anything. Like, I'm literally telling you I'm Christ.
Jeff Devine is a cult leader, a narcissist, a psychopath.
Q. My business depends on all of you.
I think he gets off on seeing them become his creation.
Some of them have started having gender-affirming surgeries.
Has a crime been committed? Is there about to be a crime committed?
No one forced me to change my gender.
Jeff never said that he was God.
No, we're not a cult.
Let's kind of fix your hair.
It gets wild.
I know, maybe like that looks nice. So you're gonna be filming us sitting down? Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna film all that.
Yeah.
They call themselves Jeff and Shalia Devine, the founders of Twin Flames Universe. They've never agreed to a television interview until now.
Jeff, what do you think the public's perception of you is, and where are they wrong?
I think they think I'm not a nice person and that I hurt people. And it could not be further from the truth.
There was a reaction towards us, and it caught fire.
I mean, the words that have been used to describe you.
I don't try to consume the hate enough to know.
Narcissistic, coercive,
Yeah,
bully,
true. Not true.
cult leader,
Yeah, not true.
and that you have destroyed people's lives.
Not true. Not true at all.
Twin Flames Universe is a spiritual movement with a seductive guarantee. Follow their program and you'll find eternal love.
Look at this. Look at this. Boom! We married. I'm married to my twin flame. I love it. This is so devilish. I know how to make them want you. Oh, and I'm gonna teach you how.
It's not just about making them want you. Jeff and Shalia preach that the path to your twin flame is paved with spiritual and financial riches. Follow them and you can have a life just like theirs.
This is my pool, my slide. This is my house. This is the back of it. Here you may recognize the Porsche and good old Corvette. It's looking good. Don't be upset or jealous because you're gonna find out how easy this is for you. You could have this too.
Twin Flames Universe is a multi-million-dollar for-profit company with hundreds of thousands of Facebook followers. It's almost entirely online. Their website showcases glowing testimonials from believers who claim to have found their true love and their true selves.
I manifested harmonious union with my one true love.
Rediscovered my true gender.
finally accepted myself as the divine masculine.
Some claim miraculous cures.
I have been symptom-free for years now.
I no longer have PTSD.
Others boast of manifesting big money.
My income has increased 3 times.
I got out of deep poverty and manifested very high-paying jobs.
So just what is a twin flame? Well, it's like a soulmate on steroids.
This person was designed for you by God, and you were designed for this person by God to be your eternal companion. And of course, they're your ultimate lover. We're talking mega romance here.
They teach that what's keeping you from your twin flame is inner trauma, that once you heal your blocks, you'll manifest your true love. There's a stable of followers who offer one-on-one coaching at a cost of $550 a month.
Today, we'd like to introduce to you and invite you to our Twin Flame School.
With Jeff and Shalia.
Group sessions called Online Ascension School cost $3,333.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another juicy life purpose class.
To master success, purpose, and wealth, there's the Life Purpose class for another $3,333. There are e-courses, a book, pre-recorded videos for sale, and if you want it all, the everything package, $8,888.
Your life's gonna change. I promise you. You're doing the work, you're having a real relationship, life's gonna change.
Of the hundreds of thousands of Facebook followers, more than 2,000 are students paying to heal their way to their dream life. One of them, Simmer Sakon, a Canadian nurse who owns a cosmetic clinic in Toronto.
I feel that seeing the coaches and the community being loving and accepting, supportive, and also just seeing that they themselves have a life which is their dream life, that's what I'm hoping for.
Finding your twin flame.
Yes, yes.
Simmer came across Twin Flames Universe online in 2023 in the grips of a painful divorce.
I booked a free consultation, had a good connection, and that was kind of my start of being part of the Twin Flame Universe community.
Once she healed from the divorce, Simmer switched gears and coaches. The new goal, finding her twin flame.
Once I was balanced, then my new coaches were more positive. Let's find our, ultimate lover.
Over the past year and a half, Simmer has spent more than $20,000. She hasn't yet found her twin flame, but insists it's money well spent.
I didn't know how to regulate my emotions, and then with my coach, very, very gradually over time, I actually started to feel my feelings. So I truly believe that I will manifest and attract my partner in a very peaceful, healthy way, hopefully, yes.
Simmer isn't alone in this interview. Every word is being monitored by the woman on the other end of Simmer's phone.
Rebecca?
Rebecca isn't part of the Twin Flames universe. She is their gatekeeper, hired by Jeff and Shalia.
To me, Simmer being able to switch coaches shows into, they're not a cult, because if you were in a cult, there's no way that would be allowed,
Rebecca is with a crisis management firm in the U.S. called Red Banyan. They do reputation repair to control the narrative and portray your business in a positive light in the press. Jeff and Shalia have hired them in the wake of a media firestorm, exposed first in 2020 by Vice and Vanity Fair, and then the subject of 2 docuseries in 2023, Escaping Twin Flames on Netflix and Desperately Seeking Soulmate on Amazon Prime. In late 2024, this email popped in my inbox. The subject line, "We're not a cult." The message, a denial of the allegations piling up against Jeff and Shalia, and an invitation for me to tell the real story. In a phone call with Jeff, Shalia, and the PR company, I made it clear we'd be digging into all of the allegations against them. They agreed with full access as the walls close in on Twin Flames universe.
I'm gonna get a drink.
That Fiji there in the corner is mine.
In northern Michigan, where allegations of brainwashing, forced labor, and tax evasion have flooded into the IRS, the FBI, and local police.
Just let me do one thing.
Okay. With another crisis PR member in the wings, Jeff and Shalia say they want to set the record straight.
It's traumatizing to have the whole world bearing down on you, and you go online and there's hundreds and hundreds of hateful comments.
The PR company shared some of those hateful comments.
If I ever see you in Michigan, I will beat the bricks off you.
I can't wait to see you and your hippo of a wife go to jail.
You little tiny Corvette asswipe. I hope you both get eaten by rabid dogs.
Tick, tick, tick. Your time is running out. I'm coming for you.
Why did you feel that now was the right time to share your story?
It was just outrage, outcry, like it just wasn't our time. It was the time of the other side to share what they wanted to share.
Yeah.
Why now?
Same. I mean, that's our answer. Yeah.
Coming up.
If you could give me a moment to collect myself. Thank you.
All right, let me give a little bit of little bit of an insight here. So here's the thing that we noticed about a lot of these codes. They use the word NA, narc, right, in the video earlier. And one of the things we have to look at is that I've noticed this for a long time, that there's a lot of people that want to seek out things like religion to have control, to manipulate, to take advantage, and to be in a position of power. And a lot of people do that, right? We know this, and it's very hard, it's very sad to think that people want to do that. And that happens in most walks of life. But I think that religion, the idea of religion or God, is like people use that. And one of the things that I will tell you guys right now is that if you guys look at the new age idea, most companies are beginning to adapt this idea of Bible. They'll give you a Bible verse to play on your feelings and emotions, right? I've been invited so many times to so many different, like, pyramid schemes, right? And I went to them a long time ago, but I remember they invite me, and then they always, if you see some of these things, they're actually on social media like YouTube, even some of the Instagrams and TikTok, and they bring out a verse and they say, hey, this is so they want to take an authority and they want to say we're valid, or we have validity, or we have respect from people because we believe in God. And I notice that's going on. I let Christians know, be very careful with the type of people you go around, because some people can lead you astray, and they'll play in that emotion. And this is one of the reasons why God warned us to be careful with that. Let me skip a little forward. We're gonna go a little bit more. Let me see what number was this. Let me see. Got to go back in here real quick. The phone. That's okay. Let me see. Go right in here. We're gonna go right in here, and we're gonna look a little. We're gonna skip forward a little bit because I'm not gonna go through the whole video, but I want to show you guys more of the specifics.
And heal the upsets.
And so it becomes a form of self-abuse and control. Any negative emotion, any negative encounter, now it's your fault.
Most students weren't seeing results, but it was definitely paying off for Jeff and Shalia.
Today we just discovered that we're not just millionaires, we're multi-millionaires.
Their Instagram feed a non-stop highlight reel of luxury.
Yeah. Lifestyle of the multi-millionaires, of the rich and famous.
Designer everything, the 5-bedroom mansion, high-end cars. All of this paid for by students desperate to heal their way.
I was gonna say something real quick about this stuff, about all this luxury stuff. I'm gonna be a minister one day. That's my commission and my mission, and my mission is to evangelize the world and also teach to the church. One day God's gonna give me abundance, and He's gonna elevate me to the places that I'm not there yet, right? But that's not my desire. My desire is not to get into these places because I want $1 from anybody, right? The one who takes care of me is God. But one day when I have this, when I'm married and with my wife, we're gonna have live a very frugal life, but our desire would be for us to give and grow the kingdom of heaven, right? Can I buy things that are luxury once in a while? I'm not gonna take a Rolex to church. Well, let's show you guys right now. This is I got a watch right here. It's called an Invicta. I paid about $100 for this. That's nice. But I think that a lot of people today, even you know, leaders in the church, they want to look all decked out. It's like, what are you guys doing? You know what I mean? So I do understand and I recognize people's concern when it comes to tithing and giving to the church. But as you can see, these people right here, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't need to buy me a G Wagon to go drive to church. I mean, a nice car, but a G Wagon, really? There's people who have need in the church also, and I think that's more important. But one of the things that we have to be really careful also, like I would say this, be careful with even ministries where now some ministries are going into the idea of like let's make money. You know what I mean? So the kingdom of God of heaven is going to expand, and God's going to make us fruitful. He's going to give us abundance, and He's going to give us those things. That's what the Bible says: "Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, and all things will be added." Right. So I'll say it like this: me myself, there's been a time that I made good money and I've been able to spend money, my money. But when it comes to the things of God or, people giving tithings, those things are very, very sacred and it's very sensitive. So me as a minister, one day I want to, file taxes and I want to have my books open for people. But keep an eye on this, just the need for these people to just have so much and, look at us. Yeah, what did the guy say right now? Oh, we're not only millions, multi-millionaires. Like that makes it even better, right? So let me go back to this though.
A to love. In 2018, Twin Flames Universe stepped out of the internet and into real life. There was a small meetup in New York.
The golden age has begun.
Jeff and Shalia introduced the concept of soul family, pairing up followers into spiritual family members. The next year, an even larger gathering in Canada.
We're in Toronto, Ontario, here for our very first Twin Flames Universe Ascension Workshop.
About 100 followers, including Angie and Victoria, went to the 4-day event.
This was the best weekend of my life, and we're so looking forward to the next one.
Jeff and Shalia were treated like spiritual rock stars.
Thank you, and take care.
Thank you, everyone.
They started calling themselves gurus. Former followers say they are grifters. The entire Twin Flames Universe business model is built like a pyramid. New students at the bottom, then students who have paid tens of thousands of dollars to become coaches. Above them, master coaches who have paid even more. At the very top, Jeff and Shalia. Students pay them thousands directly for online group meetings, and then hundreds a month to coaches for one-on-one counseling. Each coach is also expected to pay for sessions with other coaches. And all coaches have to give 50% of their earnings to Jeff and Shalia. Everyone in this pyramid is expected to work to bring new members in.
It just becomes your whole life.
It's not just sapping their money, it's also their time. When Victoria was a follower, there was an entire management structure, staffed almost exclusively by volunteer followers. Victoria held a slew of jobs, including head of security.
Did you ever get paid? Over the years in the roles that I had, I got paid $25.
While the public face of the community was all about love.
My business depends on all of you. And I want to make sure that all of you are doing your f***ing jobs.
Recorded meetings revealed Jeff berating followers for not volunteering enough of their time to build the business.
I need you to take on a job at Twin Flames Universe. If you want to dilly-dally, you're going to burn. And if you can't honestly uphold your position, get the f*** out of it because we're going to bulldoze you over. So no more of this free, of this, ballyhoo, this nonsense, this bananery.
Victoria says followers were so beaten down, they actually believed Jeff's rage was a sign of love.
He'll curse you out, he'll call you names, and then he'll say he's doing it out of love to help heal your ego and shock your system so that you can heal. He's telling you, this is good, I'm loving you through this.
And if they showed any resistance, they were told to do the mirror exercise and heal their disobedience.
As soon as you have any type of negative emotion, you have to use their mirror exercise to, quiet down any questioning, any skepticism. It is very high controlling because anything that you do that steps out of line of what they deem as appropriate is met with discipline or punishment.
And what does discipline or punishment look like in the Twin Flames universe?
It's usually a financial punishment. Most of the people that are in that group are coaches, and their primary financial income revolves around Twin Flames universe. So you can be stripped of your ability to coach.
Who's going to get the new clients? The ones who work and produce the most value within our new system. Lazy Bones is one, no longer going to get clients funneled to them, and two, no longer going to hold a position which holds everyone else up.
Twin Flames Universe has evolved from a spiritual matchmaking group into an empire. They have a company that claims to heal PTSD and trauma, another called Divine Dish, which is a paid subscription for recipes, and bizarrely, Divine Gaming, a Minecraft-like video game that followers helped create.
Here, the heart of the war will be waged between the hero of the ages and Satan himself.
And then came the church, Jeff and Shalia's next step, building an online religion.
And welcome to our first ever Church of Union sermon.
The movement took a deeply religious turn. With Jeff and Shalia now spouting much more than just New Age philosophies.
Has Christ come again? He's got the beard and the hair. And could I be the Christ? I'm not hiding anything. I'm literally telling you I'm Christ. God's been telling us, we're the second coming of the Christ.
The images of Jesus is the image of Jeff. That's the prophecy you've been looking for. I'm banging the Christ.
I feel like originally it was just a business model. He saw a way to make money. But I feel like as he started to see the type of control and power he had over people, I think he does believe that he is this, powerful Christ.
You're my student. You do not school me. If you think that you understand something better than me, by all means, bring it to the table. I invite you to challenge my spiritual mastery. I encourage you. I dare you. But I assure you, you probably don't. And if you don't want to bring it to the table, then you should shut the fuck up and listen.
Coming up.
I certainly wasn't prepared for the level of pressure that was brought in this interview.
You know I'm an investigative correspondent, right?
So as you guys can see now, they're introducing the part of the church, right, that they're bringing up. So it's very interesting because for unsuspecting people, people who don't know, the Bible says, right, as you guys know, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free, right? And that's something that we as Christians have, right? And we look at how people easily, and I used to think, how do people do this? But when you look at people who have greed makes people do really crazy things, very crazy things, right? And you can see these guys right here. They don't typically don't have any consciousness. And we're gonna look a little closer in a little bit. I'm gonna forward a little bit right here. Let me see. Is this it? Yeah, right there. We're gonna go here, and then we're gonna play this. Yes.
Filled with files from 2 hard drives, hundreds of hours of recorded meetings and documents. In this video, Jeff clearly outlines his reasons for setting up the Church of Union.
You're basically taxed at a share level, and then you're taxed again at an income level. So
sounds like death to me.
yeah, it doesn't sound good.
I've got the solution.
Yes, what's that?
We're going to turn part of our company into a religion.
Oh, good.
Just like that, the religion is born.
So a very small company, licensed stuff to the religion, who will pay us all of the money that is earned through it. This way, our shit's completely protected forever and ever. Nothing can ever hurt us. We pay no taxes on that part of the company. And in this way, like, I don't have to pay people. I can just have volunteers. And and no one sues a religion. And also, it opens us up to receive donations.
Mm.
Yeah, this is much more marketable for us,
This is
too.
more marketable, I think.
They started out by saying,
I'm sure a jury and a judge will see that very interesting what he just said, the way he said that in that video. I'm telling you, some people don't use their head sometimes when they use social media or online or anything like that.
we're not a religion and we don't even like religion. And then somewhere along the lines, when they realized that they could pay less taxes, they thought it would be a good idea for them to become a church.
Twin Flames Universe is a for-profit company. So too is their mind alignment process, Divine Dish, and Divine Gaming. The Church of Union was set up as a nonprofit in 2020. There is no actual church, just a website where sermons are posted on Sundays. Chrissy and Jason Emmerich are the directors of the Church of Union. In fact, Chrissy is in charge of church finances.
There is videotape of Jeff categorically saying the Church of Union is going to be set up so we can avoid paying taxes, right?
It's not true. Like that is not accurate information. Like
these are his words.
Right, but that's not what's happening.
Would you be comfortable opening up your books on the Church of Union to show full transparency and what's coming in and what's going out?
Ultimately, that's not like my decision to make.
Jeff and Shalia refused that request, and so we dug up the publicly available tax filings.
Over a 4-year period, the Church of Union claimed more than $500,000 in expenses. They don't even have a physical church. This is mostly just YouTube sermons.
$39,000 in legal fees, some to pay for defamation lawsuits. $45,000 for PR support, almost $100,000 on IT expenses, and $260,000 for independent contractors and something called contractor programming. Jeff and Shalia refused our requests for more details on just where that $250,000 went. We did discover this credit listing the church as an investor in one of their for-profit companies called Divine Gaming.
You're the financial officer for the Church of Union.
Yes.
So if there were ever to be discovered fraud, you would be the one that would be kind of holding the bag for that.
Yes, I think I would be involved in that, of course, because I'm the one that's doing the finances, and we've talked to specialists and experts to make sure that we're doing everything properly, and we will continue to do that.
We know the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, has gathered information on the Church of Union. They tell us federal privacy laws prohibit them from confirming or denying ongoing investigations. Regardless, the Church of Union has conducted some traditional church-like activities. There was a wedding in Sedona.
You may now seal these vows with true love's kiss.
And another in Traverse City in 2024.
You may now seal these vows with a kiss.
As you guys can see the levels that people go to, carry their their schemes and their fraud. They actually start holding weddings because according to them that's church. You see do you see how people do things whenever they're in a position where It's interesting because the Bible says that the heart is deceitful, right? It is increasingly evil, right? That's what the heart is. And as you guys can see, these people, they like the money, but they have to, hey, we have to take every step for us to get to the point where, we got to show, because right now, what they're trying to do is, deal with the IRS in case they come like asking questions. There's a whole video where he shows why he's turning the organization into a church. So these people, sometimes I don't think they really use their heads sometimes.
Most weddings, though, are conducted online.
And we are pleased to present the newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Hendel.
At least 3 of these followers changed their genders and moved to other countries to live with their so-called twin flame. Those who contemplate getting married or even engaged without the Church of Union face the wrath of Jeff and Shalia.
Don't you dare get married without the church. If you're here absorbing my teaching, don't you dare. Or f off. And actually, when you f off, that's it. Gone by. You have expended your opportunity. We're very flexible with allowing freedom. But where freedom is abused, it will be taken from you.
And this is not in any way unreasonable, what Jeff and I are saying and what we're asking.
It's excruciatingly generous, as always.
It's generous.
I know what the f I'm talking about. And if you don't think that, f off. Bye.
Coming up.
I have so much love for Jesus. And it was so hard for me to leave that all behind and follow my truth.
Twin Flames universe is in full damage control mode.
No, we're not a cult.
It's not physically possible to brainwash someone online.
Followers recently posted these videos to give their side of a story that's been covered without their voices by Netflix, Amazon, Vanity Fair, and Vice.
What we saw in the media was just like a salacious attempt with like cherry picking thousands of videos.
I was guided to explore myself. No one forced me to change my name, change my gender, change my have surgeries.
Obviously, Jeff is not God. Jeff never said that he was God.
It's an attempt to change the narrative about their community, a PR campaign that now includes me. Chrissy and Jason Emmerich have opened up their home and invited us in.
I have sessions today, a couple sessions today. And I love my life with Jay. I absolutely love it. I love spending time with this man. I never get tired of him. I always want to spend time with him.
Chrissy and Jason have been together for what they say is the best 5 years of their lives.
Are you happy in your life?
Yeah.
And you have everything that was promised to you when you first joined Twin Flames Universe?
I think the only thing that was promised to me was my twin flame, so yeah.
Jason and Chrissy started out living together as a so-called soul family, each believing someone else was their twin flame. And then they got the call.
Jeff was like, well, we would really think you guys should explore that you two are twin flames.
Because you were really freaked out at first. It's like, that's not what you wanted.
Well, yeah, no. Right? I mean, we were on this journey for, what was it, 2 or 3 years thinking that, it was someone else. And so there's a lot to process there.
Right.
But did it ever strike you as odd that all of a sudden you two were actually twin flames? It's just a bit hard for an outsider to grasp.
It's not like they're matchmaking people in any way. They're just like, hey, you guys have a connection here. Why don't you explore it and see what's there? Sometimes it resulted in twin flames, sometimes it didn't.
Welcome to Creating in the Kitchen.
Jason, a trained chef, runs Divine Dish, a division of Twin Flames Universe. For $129 a month, followers receive emailed recipes with a side dish of some wild claims.
We're now bringing you Divine Dish, which is actually the solution for world hunger and starvation.
What makes food divine?
It's curated through God.
So Jeff gets the recipes from God.
Yeah.
No, that sounds a little bit weird.
I think
Which part?
Well, the God giving recipes to Jeff.
Well, I think he just uses it's not like you know, the lightning bolt comes down and he hammers into a tablet. Those days are over, I believe.
It's another intimate way of gaining control. You don't get a choice to decide what kind of food you're putting in your body to nourish you.
Former Twin Flames CEO Keely Griffin says there's pressure for followers to subscribe.
People gain weight really rapidly.
How much weight did you gain?
I gained 80 pounds.
80 pounds, Keely.
Yeah, it's a lot.
No one is pressured, in my opinion.
Well, who's responsible for them feeling pressured?
Right.
While Jason runs Divine Dish, Chrissy is at the helm of a controversial Twin Flames universe business called the Mind Alignment Process, or MAP.
I am Dr. Chrissy Kay, the CEO of Mind Alignment Process Incorporated.
All right, I'm gonna move a little bit forward with the video. I'm gonna go more and look exactly. I just wanted to give you guys that, but I'm gonna go into the video where he gets to talk. Give me a second. I want to see what part of the video it is. But we're gonna look at this right here. We're gonna look to see, because it's kind of interesting when he gives his interview and how specifically the guy basically is melting down. You know, at a point when it comes to the interview. But I'll show that real quick.
So you're going to be filming us sitting down? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna film all that.
Jeff and Shalia Devine have a long list of allegations against them. They deny every single one and say they are the victims of cancel culture.
There are people who paint you both as puppet masters, as cult leaders, who have a level of control over people who are very vulnerable.
We are not puppet masters. We are not over-exercising our control to get people to do things that we want them to do. I appreciate this opportunity to be able to share our side of the story, to tell people, you may not believe me.
He stops looking at me and makes a direct appeal to camera.
Please hear what we have to say. Please listen to our students. They are not brainwashed. This is not a cult. This is a textbook example of cancel culture.
Explain that for me.
Well, I think she's probably the better person to explain that. She's the one doing all the studying of it all.
Well, there was a reaction towards us, and it got shared all around the internet, and it got picked up, and then it just kept snowballing and snowballing.
You have described yourself as the Master Christ.
It's a spiritual exploration. And, this cancel culture takes everything super out of context to make it look like I'm some megalomaniac who's using these strange titles to claim power, or they say that I think I'm Jesus, and that's just so silly.
But you have said you think you're Jesus.
Where do you have me quoted saying, I think I'm Jesus? That's absurd. I've never said that.
Holy, holy, holy. I figure y'all...
But he has said this.
And I'm not hiding anything. I'm literally telling you I'm Christ.
Because God's been telling us, we're the second coming of the Christ.
I'm banging the Christ.
With all the pictures we see depicted of Jesus, he kind of looks that way, and so haha, I'm with Jesus. He's not Jesus. I don't believe that at all.
None of my students think I'm Jesus.
Have you told people to change genders?
We encourage people to explore. And I hesitate to answer that question in the way that I'm feeling led to answer that question, which is yes or no. But the reality is...
It kind of is a yes or no, Jeff. It kind of is.
There's context here. The answer to your question is we encourage people to explore their spiritual, their inner world. And it's just an invitation to explore.
Except in the concerns about Twin Flames Universe, the biggest, most harmful allegation is that you are dictating people's gender and that they are taking it to extreme lengths, including having surgeries and hormone therapies and changing their gender.
Wow.
And so I think it's a fair question.
Of course.
that's a yes or a no, and there's not really a ton of nuance in it.
Great.
So is it a yes or a no?
We've invited people to explore their gender.
And that invitation to explore gender comes from God?
No, it comes from a human talking to a human.
No, but do you get the message from God that someone is in the wrong gender?
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to.
If you could give me a moment to collect myself. Thank you. God is a loving being. God wants the best for us. I am not God. I have never claimed to be God.
So my question was, do you get a message from God about somebody's gender?
It doesn't work that way, no.
There's no channeling from God about what someone's gender should be?
So we as professionals get intuitive hits, you might say. Hey, this might be a good idea. It's explorative. Like this heavy frame is just not the reality.
But Jeff, it's a heavy consequence to have kind of a whim that someone might be a different.
Notice what this guy just said right there. I think, I mean, I'm not laughing right here because I mean, I think it's kind of funny the way this thing is, you know, but it's really, really, it's concerning to think that this guy says that, you know, it's like, we're just experimenting. I mean, these people are dealing with people's lives, they're dealing with people's hearts, with their souls, not to mention their souls, you know. And it's crazy because, you know, this guy's sitting there and he's made millions off of all these people in the business that they have, you know. So um it is concerning, you know, and to think that, you know, so many people out there are wanting to take, you know, positions of power and influence, you know, but they don't know what they're dealing with. I mean, this is and like the word we can, I don't know if I can say this word, narc, right? Look at the arrogance, the pride, the ego. This is who these people are. So, but I think also one thing we have to understand, guys, as Christians, I understand we live in this new world where everything is get the bag, you know. If you're couples, power couple sort of thing, right? Ideas of that is that all this stuff is worldly, and a lot of the reason why people get caught up in stuff is because of greed, whether Christian or not. It's greed. They want that next thing, you know, what is it called? Keeping up with the Joneses, right? That expression, or they want to, you know, lifestyle creep. That's what's going on in America right now. A lot of people have a lifestyle creep where, like, the more money they make, the more they spend, and a lot of people are in heavy debt nowadays because of that, you know. So, but if you look at what these guys are doing, they look at unsuspecting people and they took full advantage, and these guys have no conscience. They sit there and they think, as you know, like, but if you notice how indifferent they are, there's a high level of indifference between these two, right? And they don't care who they hurt or who gets hurt as long as they're getting what they want. And this is what happens. So, but if you look at the profile also, when we talk about false prophets, false Christ, you know, and people, there's other like false pastors and all the other stuff, right? Is that these people, when you see somebody who's just driven to this idea that look at me, give me, you know, like praise, give me, you know, pedestalize me, look at me, I'm doing. That's why every single time people tell me on this channel, oh, you're smart or this and that, I let them, hey, you know, I'm just a person, I'm just a man. I don't have the intelligence, I don't have the smarts, I don't have the mental capacity and I've said this many times on this channel. I don't have the mental capacity, imagination, intelligence to come up with the stuff that I showed you and I talk about here. Does that make sense? That's because behind us, the ones who are the real ones, the elect, the real men and women of God, there's a spirit that's operating. There's a spirit of God that's operating upon us, right? And yeah, maybe they have information that I can share. That maybe they have information that I can give you guys, but I don't have the ability to give you guys the revelation. That's I looked for it for many years. It wasn't until by the grace of God, he gave me the insight through the light and the revelation. But this is all holy. This is all sensitive stuff. And then by grace and by love, we're sharing it with you guys. You know what I mean? So, but look at how these people are, right? So this is something that we have to be always be mindful of who we're dealing with and what spaces we go to and who we listen to. It's very, very critical.
Different genders.
It's not a whim. I get how this all looks, but it's just not true.
Jeff was saying, like, we could see on the spiritual horizon. And because Jeff and I, like, we live in twin flame union, it's like we see color where someone is colorblind. Like, we can see that.
And first, I hardly believe that the LGBTQ plus community would agree that changing your gender is an entirely harmful thing.
It's absolutely not a harmful thing unless someone else is telling you that you are the wrong gender.
Sure.
And then it's a very harmful thing.
This is not, once again, it's not something that's imposed upon you. You can't impose things upon people on their spiritual journey.
We were their, like, direct guide. They can choose not to do it or not to, you know, like.
If you have an element of control over them or sway over them.
Okay.
And they hear you say that and they know that it will please you.
We don't encourage that kind of power dynamic.
Yeah.
You don't?
No.
No.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're my student. You do not school me. You should shut the up and listen.
Your choice has been out of order, so you can make a new choice.
We're very flexible with allowing freedom. But where freedom is abused, it will be taken from you.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
You probably have seen me yelling at my students. It's not abuse. In fact, people felt really loved and cared for when I would yell at them in classes. They felt like someone cares about me enough to yell at me. Because it's uncomfortable to yell at people. I don't want to do that if I don't have to, but I love these people. And so I put myself on the line in order to be able to help people.
But the people who are on the receiving end of that, who are
Sure.
no longer part of the community,
Okay.
felt bullied and manipulated and exploited by you.
Of course. Is it okay if I grab some water?
Oh,
real
for
quick?
sure, yeah.
Do you know where my Fiji went?
No. You may need to get a new one.
Okay, that's fine.
So, Jeff, you talk about yelling at people lets them know that you actually are showing them love.
No, but kind of.
In this topsy-turvy universe, love is expressed in anger, and hate is a consequence of love.
Why are you the lightning rod for so much hate?
I think because we love people.
It doesn't make sense, Jeff. The equation doesn't add up. People who love don't usually receive hate. I just don't.
That's not true. That's not true. Look at history.
Okay, tell me.
Well, I'm not the.
Well, you look at, for instance, like a lot of like historical figures, like Martin Luther King. I don't know, like I grew up Catholic, so I think of Jesus, you know, like he was just loving everybody, even though it was difficult.
When you love people deeply, it touches parts of their hearts and themselves that are hurt. And so that can cause that hurt to come out.
Jeff and Shalia deny they set up the church to evade taxes and deny they are exploiting followers financially.
What are the different businesses that are in the Twin Flames Universe umbrella?
I mean, we're here to talk about Twin Flames.
But that's part of it, right?
What are you here to talk about? Like, you know, I'm not trying to be evasive here, but like, you're starting to get into a whole lot more subject.
Did you guys set up the church specifically to avoid taxes?
No.
We're the church's largest donor. It's designed to support the spiritual community and the spiritual teaching.
Yeah.
So there was no videotape discussion about how to avoid paying taxes and setting up a church?
In business, it's very normal to minimize your tax burden. Why would you pay more taxes than you are supposed to? We've always ensured we pay our fair share of taxes. You can't avoid the tax person. There's no way around that.
There are PR fees in your church filings.
Okay.
Well, how does that get explained?
I mean, our whole community came together to pay that. Like we're all
Our whole
paying
community
to support.
is impacted by what happened. It didn't just happen to Jeff and I, it happened to everyone that's in our community.
But why would that come out of the church?
It comes out of the whole community of which we are a part and of which we contribute to the largest amount.
What are you guys doing to make money? Like, you're making money off the coaches because they're giving you 50% of their salary.
What you're saying is, what do we do to make money?
Exactly.
You're asking me, really, what do I do to provide value for my community?
No, what do you do to make money?
Well, I provide value for my community.
But just in terms of bringing money in to support your lifestyle, where does that money come from?
Well, we don't, the money is, okay, so it's fine, it's fair. Might not look like I have a particular, job like, making the food. Actually, one of my jobs is making the food. And I do design the menus for Divine Dish. It's a creative level things. It's entrepreneurial endeavor. If there's some sort of perception that we don't do anything, we're just profiting all, it's absolutely upside down. We work incredibly hard. And,
Twice in the interview, Jeff, out of the blue, starts crying over his love for Jesus.
I grew up Catholic, and I left the religion in the church because of their stance on gay marriage. I felt that if two people loved each other, they should, I'm very passionate about this. They should be allowed to get married. And it was so painful to leave my church. I have so much love for Jesus. And it was so hard for me to leave that all behind and follow my truth. But it was the right thing to do.
Jeff and Shalia say their logic and intuition have led them to believe their toddler Grace will only have one lover, God.
We believe she's more like a monastic soul. Someone whose life path is dedicated to God as their love or lover alone. But I'm still going to teach her about, sex and sexuality.
This is just an idea that we have come to, and we're seeing where it goes.
They have abandoned altogether another idea, that concept of golden children, which former followers believe is an attempt to breed a larger community.
It was a passing idea, just a thought, just playing around with an idea,
It's kind of strange, kind of weird.
Yeah.
Seemed maybe cool.
Seemed like a cool idea.
Explored it for a short time and let it go.
And then it wasn't like a big deal or anything.
Do you think that it's possible that you will one day see inviting people to explore the divine masculinity as a silly idea that you should move away from?
Yeah.
Part of your...
Yeah, any of it. There's no sacred cows here. Like, even the twin flame concept, it's okay if it's misproven.
Followers have moved countries, married strangers, changed genders, based on teachings that no longer seem set in stone.
You guys are on a journey that people are following very closely because they believe in you.
Yeah.
And you're experimenting with things that...
They know that we're experimenting.
They know we're experimenting. Trust me, people have a mind of their own in our spiritual community, and
very much so.
They don't always listen to us, and that's okay. I don't really care. It's your life.
Is this all going to come crashing down?
No.
No. I think, if anything, we're only going to continue to thrive.
Why are you getting all misty-eyed?
I'm thinking about Jesus. My love for Jesus. Yeah, just thinking about that. That's all.
How is your relationship?
It's really good.
So good.
Yeah, we're very happy. We're very in love. We'll start to cry. Yeah. It's very it's very sacred to us. It's like our altar. And yeah, I love Jeff with my whole heart, and I'll be with him forever. I've never been so happy in my entire life. I'm such a better person, and I love myself so much, and he's taught me that.
But the business doesn't continue without that love for each other, right? It's
I don't
all
know.
built on your twin flame union.
Yeah, our whole life is. And that's built on our relationship with God.
Yeah.
So I would rather not be in a world without God. If God isn't real, then take me away. I don't want any part of that. I believe God is real, and I built everything on him.
Coming up,
I'm not going to stop, and I hope that Jeff and Shalia know that.
All right, I wanted to show you guys that entirety of that. I've watched part of it, but watching it again, I'm like, wow, these people. But one of the things that you got to pay attention to this is that a lot of these people that are influencers, a lot of these people that have a level of power when it comes to being in front of people, they're these people are claiming that they're experimenting. They're experimenting almost as if you know people's lives are something that you can just fiddle like like set of keys. You know what I mean? Like, um, and that's how a lot of these people think. And they're not concerned whether how it's gonna affect that person or these people or that group of people. That's one of that's the crazy part. And when I saw this interview, I was watching them, right? I was watching the indifference, that part where they're acting like they're crying, when their answers are so nonchalant. Like, and like, I don't know if these people understand that there are people out here who are, study psychology, who study human nature, who study body language, that we know how deceptive they're being, and indifferent they're being, and that's something that's very real in today's world in so many different ways. So when I found this interview, I was like, I wanted to bring something to show you guys who these people are. And as you notice, it doesn't seem like these people are actually connected to like the real world. It doesn't seem like they're connected to the so what do you call it? What I was saying. So they're not connected to reality. They're not in like the worldview and their paradigm is shifted. And I think that one of the things that we got to look at also about when the Bible says that verse that the heart is deceitful and wicked, right? And and evil, is that's what happens to a lot of people. And that's when something that I would say, I've been telling Christians for a while about this. Be careful with chasing, greed. Be careful with chasing this idea that, and it's very common today that everybody wants to build this legacy. They want to build wealth and all those things. And this is the place where they're gonna come to you. This is the place. This is those little triggers that they're gonna come and talk to you about. They're gonna give you the promise. They're gonna give you, they're gonna play on those emotions and in those feelings, right? And but as you know, these people almost have free reign in the things that they want to do. But let me go back. Let me show you guys some of these verses right here that I pulled up. Also, let me see. I'm gonna read a couple of them, and this is gonna be a little bit of an introduction. It's going to be to show you guys what the Bible and the book of Revelation says, right? Because as you guys know, some of these people will infiltrate the church. A lot of these people are going to infiltrate the church. One is for monetary gain. Also, is because the enemy is going to use these people. Not only that, when we started the study was based around the idea there's false Christs and false prophets that are coming, right? These people are coming. But remember, this guy right here, he's just a normal person. But the closer we get to the rapture, the closer we get to that, to the moment for the harpazo and all that, then the ones that are coming are going to be the false Christ and the false prophets that are going to come with signs and wonders. That means that they're going to have a power, right? They're going to have a power that they're gonna be able to, let me see. Okay, I got it right there. My screen was going on. So they're gonna have a power. What's gonna happen in those days when these people start showing up and they start doing miracles, certain types of miracles? They might be people who have the power similar to magic and stuff like that, right? Which is a really crazy idea because I think some of these magicians are doing some magic. I think some of them are actually involved in the occult that are actually doing supernatural. Because I don't know if you guys know that some of these magicians are actually doing supernatural things. These things are not just smoke and mirrors. Some of them are actually. But the thing is this: that people don't understand is that in the end times, God is going to allow the spiritual realm to operate at a more optimum level, and there's going to be manifestations. Also, the closer we get to the rapture, right? And the closer we get, once people are in the tribulation, that's going to be a whole nother game, a whole nother game. And this is one of the things that we are, as a body of Christ, or God is going to do. He's going to intervene to be able to open up people's eyes and speak to people to let them know, wake up. So we're gonna let me go to this verse in Revelation that I have over here. Let me go to the first one. It's Revelations 2:14, and I'm gonna show you guys right there. Wait, it's Revelation 2. Let me see. That's 2:14. Okay, I'm gonna read this right here. And I'm gonna explain a few things also from these verses right here. So look at what it says right here. So I have a few things against you because some of you hold the teaching of Balaam, right? Who taught Balak to place a stumbling block before the Israelites so they would eat food sacrificed to idols and commit sexual adultery, sexual immorality, right? In the same way, some of you also hold to the teachings of the Nicolaitans. Now, one of the things about this passage right here that it's talking about is that uh, these what is being referred to right here in the spiritual realm is that it's saying that in the spiritual realm there's going to be a work and operation, and there's going to be the world is going to do things that's going to pull the church in, right? It's going to pull Christians in also. And going to pull them in because they're going to be looking at things, sacrifices or maybe even rituals or traditions. And this is one of the parts that is going to affect the church big time in the end times. So when we look at one of the reasons why, right, some of the churches, right, are going to stay here, and some of the Christians are going to stay here, is because remember what I've been saying on the channel. There's three things. There's the things that are going to qualify. One is going to be a virgin. Two is going to be without stain, without blemish, and without wrinkle, right? Those qualifications say that in these people might be maybe stained, right? Spiritually, they're stained. So one of the reasons why is because they are still looking and they're still partaking in things that are in the world. Now, that's more of an idea that I would say that um, because remember in the book of Revelation, this part right here, the church has been infiltrated here, right? In the time in their time back 2,000 years ago or so, right? They were infiltrated. The same thing is happening today. So when you see things that are being put in the church that are worldly or traditions or certain things that are, let's say Halloween, for example, right? That's something that we have to be really, really careful, and we have to be really pay attention to those things. Let me see another one over here. Wait, let me see. Give me a second. Maybe is that 19 or is that? Sorry, let me see. Okay, let me see. I don't know what verse this was. Okay, right here. So this is the one right here. I'll show you right here. Okay, yeah. So it says, "So I know your affliction and your poverty, though you are rich." Look at what it says, right? Oh, it disappeared from disappeared from TikTok, but I'll read it. I know your affliction, right? And this is speaking to the church. Let me see. It's Ephesus. That's what's no, Smyrna. I'm sorry, Smyrna. Speaking to Smyrna. It says, I know your affliction and your poverty, though you are rich, and I am aware of the slander of those who falsely claim to be Jews, but are in fact a synagogue of Satan. So let's remember something, right? That right here, the spirit is talking to the church. It's not talking to the world here. It's not talking to the world. It's talking to the church. And look at what it specifically it tells the church. And I know your affliction and your poverty, though you're rich, right? So we can go into the idea why it's saying that, but I want to more emphasize on what it's saying. I am aware of the slander of those who falsely claim to be Jews, but are in fact the synagogue of Satan. That means that there are people that are going to be in today's time that are going to go in a direction. They're going to go in a direction. They're going to be chasing those things. And this is one of the parts where apostasy. So when Second Thessalonians says that the apostasy must come first before the man of perdition is revealed, this is what it's referring to right here in the book of Revelation. When it says that there's going to be a falling away, it's referring to this, that in the church, there are people who are actually going to allow certain things to take place. For example, some churches could be, looking at horoscope now. They could be looking at the tarot cards. Some of them are bringing yoga in, or new age, the chakras and all those things that are bringing in, or some churches are beginning to, experiment with sound, with, with heat and all those things. I don't. Hope you guys are following what I'm saying. So this is part of that, right? So let me read another one because time is getting a little bit. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Three. Okay, let me go back over here. Okay, so let me see. 13. Okay, so we're gonna read this part right here. Now, here's the part where we're gonna look at the book of Philadelphia. So we know that the church of Philadelphia is gonna be the church that's actually going to escape. Right, this is the only church that's being told that's going to be kept from the you know the time when the world's going to be it's going to be challenged. So look at what it says. I know your deeds. See, I have placed you before you. I have placed before you an open door, which no one can shut. So I'm gonna give you guys this right here. This is where a lot of people don't know and they don't understand what it's saying right here. And that's what the book of Revelation. Let him hear. Let him who hears understand. Let him who reads understand. And it says, I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door, which no one can shut. This open door, a lot some theologians, some ministers say that this the open door is talking about that door that God's gonna leave open for those who are going to escape to heaven in the actual rapture, the bride, basically, right? So that's what it's saying right here. So I'm gonna give you more, right? But look at what's gonna be the description of the church in the end times. For you have only a little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. Look at those who belong to the synagogue of look at those who belong to the synagogue of Satan, who claim to be Jews but are liars instead. I will make them come and bow down at your feet, and they will know that I love you. Right. So, so in this passage right here, right, continue reading this part right here. So this is basically where the rapture is. This is the church of Philadelphia, because you have kept my command to persevere. I will also keep you from the hour. Look at what it says. Remember, in the Bible, it says that there's the Jacob's trouble, day of the Lord, right? The hour, of testing, right? Those are different descriptions that are given in the Old Testament and the New Testament about God's wrath being poured out upon the world at a particular time. And that time is talking about when the man of perdition comes into play. That's talking about the rapture, and also when the Antichrist comes in the scene and they're able to build a third temple that we've been talking about for the past 3 months down there. So I'm coming full circle now because I already set the doctrine for you guys to look at it. Now we talked about the Antichrist, we talked about the third temple. So now we're talking about the time of the hour. So we're looking at the timeline right now. Where are we in the timeline? We're going into the direction where there's going to be a time that's going to be where the world is going to be tested. And this is the part where oh, okay. Yeah, bless you too, nurse. No worries. So what we're looking at here right now is that we have to look at what's going to take place prior to this stuff. What's going to take place, and that's the reason why we have to be. It says watchful, vigilant, alert. Those are the words that it describes in the book of Matthew 24 and Luke 21. Watchful, alert, right? All those things. So we have to be watchful, alert, and we have to be looking, right? Because if we're not doing those things in the end times, we could get caught up with things, right? So it's one of those things, guys, that we have to look at, and there's going to be a confrontation, and we are going to be part of that confrontation, whether we like it or not. The question is, what is your strength going to be like? What is how strong is your faith going to be? How well will you know the word of God, or will know the word of God, right? So let me go back to reading this right here. So okay, so let me see. Okay, so right here, because you have kept my command to persevere, I will also keep you from the hour of testing that is about to come upon the whole world to test those who dwell on the earth. Right? This is what it says right here. Right? It says, let me put it right there, and it says, remember, this was said 2,000 years ago. I am coming soon. Hold fast to what you have, so that no one will take your crown. The one who overcomes, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he will never again leave it. Upon him I will write the name of my God and the name of the city of the God, the new Jerusalem that comes down out of heaven from my God, and my new name. Okay, so by the way, look at what it says right here, guys. Is that I want you guys to pay attention to this, because a lot of people have a question about this, and I'm gonna elaborate a little bit more in the future about this. And this is the part that a lot of people don't understand. It says, "I'm coming soon. Hold fast what you have, so that no one will take your crown." So there is crowns that are going to be handed when at the rapture, right? When the harpazo happens and we're in front of Jesus, we're going to be given rewards, not salvation. We're not talking about salvation here. It's going to be crowns. Some they're going to be given a rock and other things, right? So look at what's going on here. There means that in our servitude, through the way we live our lives for God as Christians, the things that we do are going to count. There's a tally and a count that's happening. That's what the Bible says. Make yourself treasures in heaven. That's what it says in the Bible. So that's part of making treasures in heaven. Is the servitude and us yielding and giving our lives. And it says right here that they're going to get a crown. But what's the reason why they're going to get a crown? Because it's one, it says that he's given us all a commandment, and that's to persevere. Does that make sense? So so I'm leaving you guys with this. We're gonna go a little bit more into studying this 7 churches later on, but I wanted to start introducing the rapture and what the rapture is and where the actual signs of what's gonna happen. It was gonna take place sooner than later. So, but as you guys can see, we have a full-on display right here. This video that we have of who these people are, a profile, their psychological ideas, and how they think, operate, and what we gotta be aware. But remember, these guys are just like low-level soldiers, the ones that we're talking about. The ones that are coming, the ones that are going to be coming as soon as the closer we get to the second coming of Jesus in the rapture and harpazo, these guys going to have powers and they're going to have abilities that these guys don't. These guys are more like, like the foot soldiers that they're not really that, what I want to say, they're not really that much of a big deal to say it. But the ones that are coming, the other ones, those guys are going to be something different. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm gonna see you guys Tuesday and Thursday. I'm coming down around 9:30. Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm gonna elaborate more on this, and I'm gonna expand on this a lot more, so you guys can, so we can get a more clear understanding of what's going on. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a good night.